We discover new music less as we get older. Why? According to an estimate from International Federation of Phonographic Industry, an organization representing international music industry, people around the world spend 18.4 hours listening to music in 2021. On average 20.1 hours per week. We have more ways to access music than at any time in history, and a whole world of unconventional styles to explore. The excitement of discovering new songs and new sounds can enrich people of all ages. But often it doesn't. Our desire to discover new or unfamiliar music decreases with age. Today's music doesn't have the same soul. I love that old-time rock and roll discovering new music. Scholars use the term open ears to describe our desire to explore new music. Over the course of our lives, this willingness increases and decreases. Children up to the age of 11 are usually happy to engage in unconventional music. Early adolescence sees a decrease in open-mindedness, but this is accompanied by an intense increase in interest in music more generally. Open-earedness increases slightly during young adulthood, then decreases as we age. A large 2013 study involving more than 250,000 participants confirmed these changing behaviors. It also showed that after adolescence, the importance we attach music decreases, and the amount music we listen to drops from a high of 20% our waking time in adolescence, 13% in adulthood. Changing priorities. Researchers have different, but often complementary, theories to explain these population-level trends. Some interpret the decline in musical engagement in terms of psychosocial maturation. Adolescents use music as an identity marker and associate with music to navigate social circles. Adults have developed personalities and formed social groups. Therefore, the drivers for interacting with new music are reduced. The same researchers point to age-related changes in hearing acuity, particularly reduced tolerance for loud and high-frequency sound, as a reason for some people's decreased interest in new music. One explanation for the age-related decline in music consumption suggests that responsible adults may have less discretionary time than younger people to explore their musical interests. Some scholars question whether there is a direct link between the decline in the rate of new music consumption and increased music intolerance. Others oppose the use of chronological age as an indicator of stagnant musical taste, without considering the different ways we use and process music throughout our lifespan. Teens tend to be very aware of what they are listening to. Adults who use music as motivation or accompaniment for activities such as exercise or chores may be less conscious of the extent to which they actually listen to new music. There is a consensus that people's tastes are shaped by the music they first encounter during adolescence. Adolescence shapes musical taste because our brains have developed to the point where we can fully process what we hear. And secondly, the heightened emotions of adolescence create strong and lasting memory bonds. Music of Our Life. Neuroscience provides some fascinating insights into how and why our taste in music evolved. For example, we know that babies show affinity to the music they hear in the womb. Also, musical taste is reduced to familiarity. When we love a piece of music, it reminds us of other music we've listened to and activates memory traces emotional times in our lives. What we think of as our pleasure is simply a dopamine reaction that results from patterns our brain recognizes that create the anticipation of pleasure based on past pleasures. When we stop actively listening to new or unfamiliar music, the connection between musical pattern and pleasure is broken. It may take 10 or 20 years to get there, but the bottom line is that eventually, youth music will become alienated and bring no pleasure. So, are we doomed to musical obsolescence as we age? Far from it. Recent research shows that musical taste does not need to be calcified, but can continue to evolve throughout our lives. Broaden our horizons. Develop different modes including formal, focused, casual, and social. Make listening a habit. Be curious about what you are to. Be patient and persistent. You can help your brain form new patterns by learning about the story behind the music. Don't assume that a piece you don't know isn't worth listening to just because you don't like it right away. The more you listen, the better your brain will be at triggering a pleasure response. Find a friend to advise you. You have a very good chance of listening to music recommended by someone you love and admire. I hate jazz. These attitudes will likely suppress your joy. So don't feel compelled to keep up with new music trends. We have 1,000 years of music to discover. Really good pop music of its era should sway older adults off its scent. It should clean up the boring adult's room and give the kids some space. Timothy McHenry, Professor of Music, Australian Catholic University. This article has been republished under a Creative Commons license. From the conversation.